Today's page. God sent Samuel to a man named Jesse to find a new king. When Samuel met Jesse, he said, "I would like to meet your sons." Total pages. They needed food to eat. So, each day, Ruth gathered leftover grain from the fields. A good man named Boaz owned the land. One day, he saw Ruth in the field. He wanted to help her. So, he left extra grain for Ruth to gather. Boaz fell in love with Ruth. They got married and had a baby boy named Obed. God had blessed Ruth and Grandma Naomi with a brand new family. Hannah's prayer. 1 Samuel chapter 1 verses 1 through 20. Hannah loved God. She wanted to have a baby, but she wasn't able to have any children. Hannah and her husband went to the tabernacle. She prayed to God, "If you will give me a baby boy, I will see that he serves you all his life." Eli was a priest. He saw Hannah praying. She explained, "I am crying out to the Lord because I want him to answer my prayer." Eli gently told her, "Go in peace, and may God give you what you ask for." Sure enough, Hannah and her husband had a baby boy. They thanked God for their new son. They named him Samuel. A voice in the night. 1 Samuel chapter 3. When Samuel was a little boy, Hannah brought him to live at the tabernacle. She had promised God that Samuel would serve him all his life. The priest Eli would now take care of Samuel. He would teach Samuel about God. One night, while Samuel was sleeping, he heard a voice say, "Samuel." He ran to Eli and said, "Here I am." But Eli said, "I did not call you." Then Samuel went back to bed. Samuel heard a voice call his name 2 more times. Each time, Samuel ran to Eli. Finally, Eli told Samuel, "I think God is speaking to you. Next time, say, 'Yes, Lord, I am listening.'" Then Samuel went back to bed. "Samuel, Samuel," the voice said again. This time Samuel answered, "Yes, Lord, I am listening." From that moment on, Samuel gave messages to God's people. He was a special prophet of God. Israel's first king. 1 Samuel chapters 8 through 10. When Samuel was an old man, God's people said, "We want a king to rule over us." Samuel asked God for help. God told Samuel to warn the people about all the trouble a king could bring. A king would make the young man join his army, and the people would have to give the best things they owned to support the king. Samuel warned the people, but they still would not listen. Then God told Samuel to give them a king. God led Samuel to a man named Saul. Samuel poured oil on Saul's head. This was a sign that Saul was God's choice for their new king. Saul hid because he was shy. The people found him. Then Samuel said, "Here is your king." Everyone cheered and shouted, "Long live the king!" A good heart. 1 Samuel chapter 15 verse 1 through chapter 16 verse 13. Saul was a good king for about 20 years. Then he began to disobey God. God was sorry he made Saul the king. Samuel was sad about it too. God sent Samuel to a man named Jesse to find a new king. When Samuel met Jesse, he said, "I would like to meet your sons." The end.